After round one, 0-0, how do you sum up your side?
We lose that game last year twice. So for me, a lot of positives to take out of that match. We've shown growth as a team. We didn't give anything away. We were disciplined for the whole entirety of the match. And in the end, I think we have the best chance of the match, and their keeper makes a world-class save. There wasn't a lot of chances, but the best one fell to us, I thought.
So you lose this game last year, you feel some of their chances you give up. Why do you lose this game last year and why didn't you this year?
Well, I think last year was maybe a focus problem. Maybe focus and discipline. We were disciplined for many moments, but then we'd fall short in one or two, and that would cost us. And, it's important that, our mentality and our resilience keeps growing, and that shows growth in this group. And, we fielded some young boys out there tonight that I'm really proud of. And, let's not forget they're the benchmark of this competition, and I'll take that point.
What excited you about Denny John Rowe tonight? He looked like he was in everything.
Yeah, a lot. And I think that's just the beginning with Denny. A fantastic footballer, offers so much. He's so versatile. He's got so many things to his game where, can help this team. And, tonight he was excellent. His first game back in a while. And, it's an intense match there. They're a physical team. They're a good team. And it was a good baptism for him to see what the A-League's like, which has probably changed a little bit since he last played in it.
Is that going to be the sort of, while Juan's building up his fitness, a bit of a go-to lever for you to shuffle Denny back and get Mata into those spaces?
Oh, look, there's plenty of options for that. We don't have Dorigo tonight. We don't have Luca College tonight. There's many players that are out tonight that can also play in that holding role. It just gives us flexibility. We've got players that are versatile, and that's important. And they're the players that we wanted to bring in, and we brought them in for a reason, and that's part of the reason.
And you mentioned players out tonight. Roderick Miranda, the skipper, surprising out. Louis as well. What are some of the updates on them? Anyone back next week?
Rollins definitely comes back because he missed tonight through suspension. And then next week, hopefully Roddy next week. Maybe Louis as well. But the rest of them are much longer than that. So, there's some bodies that are unavailable for the medium term. And in the meantime, we'll do what we've got to do with the players that we have. That's why we have a squad. That's why we've got depth. And, like I said, you see someone like Xavier Stella make a debut tonight against Auckland. A big match. And he stood up and, he did himself, the team, and me proud.
What's the nature of Roddy's injury? What's he done?
It's his foot. Yeah, it was an injury picked up at training last week. We were hoping he'd be right for tonight, and he wasn't. So, if all goes well, next week he should be right.
Arthur, well done on the draw. Some big names departed over the off-season. T, Gazani, Fornaroli, Mashash, Casey Boss. But, does it feel like, the boys have really stepped up and it's the same quality this season?
Yeah, absolutely. I think the players you mentioned are fantastic players, and that's why they've earned moves overseas. And you're still missing Gary as well from that. We missed him halfway through the year. He left as well. People forget that one. But it's a new team, and we've made some fantastic signings. Keegan Jelicic, Dorigo. There's many. Denny John Rowe. There's a lot of good players that have come in. Jason Davidson. Jace was excellent tonight. Showed incredible leadership and showed his level as well. So, we're really happy with the players that we've been able to bring in. We don't look at the players that have gone now. That's last year. It's a new team, and we're in the process now of building and improving day by day.
Davidson, he used to play at the club 3 seasons overseas. Now he's back, and he must have had a good off-season, and because he earned vice captaincy straight away, and now he's captaining tonight as a stand-in. What have you made of his last few months?
Yeah, he came in later than we would have liked, but again, he's a player that takes care of himself, and he's great physically. So even though he came in late, he's been able to get himself ready to start in round 1, which is fantastic. Him being a leader in the club and in the group is something that his peers voted for. That tells you what they think of him as a human being and how he's perceived to this group. So we've got a great leadership group. He's one of them. He's a great player, and he's everything Melbourne Victory is about.
Just on Juan Mata, decision to bring him on in the 68th minute today. How did you come to that, and how are you looking to sort of manage his game time this season?
Yeah, he's another one where, probably 3-4 weeks ago when he arrived, I wouldn't have said that he'd be ready for round one, but he's worked so hard to put himself up for selection. Decision to bring him on was, I think Xavier was just starting to tire a little bit and we needed some fresh legs in there. So that's why we brought Juan on there. And obviously to unlock a team that's defensively very strong, and you saw there's a couple of balls that he put in for Santos and, a couple that just fell short. So you can see his quality there, and he's only going to get better and better with the weeks ahead.
With the side, obviously, round one, world's longest off-season, there's rust. I think it was about 80 days since the Australia Cup as well. How long do you think it will take before the boys really begin to build up that cohesion and that fluidity that comes from regular competitive football with each other?
Yeah, look, I think, it's the most difficult part of that question is when you've got so many bodies out, upwards of almost 8 players. I think 8 players are unavailable tonight. That's a lot of players. So that in itself affects the fluidity. But you saw tonight there was many moments where the players that were out there did a fantastic job and showed some really good signs. So, in the meantime, we keep working day to day. As players come back in, it'll only make us stronger and better. And in the meantime, we've still got to be picking up points and still playing good football.
Hey, you've got 2 of your newer signings, Jason and Demi, have been kind of around the fringes of the Socceroos squad for the past few years. With a World Cup on the horizon, is that something you've kind of spoken to them about them trying to play time their run to hopefully get a spot for the World Cup?
I hope so. I really hope so, because I genuinely believe that they've got the level required to go to a World Cup. Whether they go or not, that's going to be a reflection of their work here at Melbourne Victory. And if they're doing the right thing here at Melbourne Victory, that means my team will be doing really well. So I'm happy for that. And then the reward of that is that they get to go to a World Cup if and when selected. So day to day for them, it's about doing the right thing here for themselves and Melbourne Victory first. And if they do really well, then there's always that opportunity at the end of the day.
So has that been spoken between you guys at all, or is it just something you've kind of left in the background?
We've left that in the background. I think that should be a goal of every single player at our club, not just them. We've got many talented footballers here who all have the capacity and the ceiling to be able to represent their country. And, it's our job to try and get them there. And we know if they get there, it means they're doing a really good job for us. So that's a win-win situation.
Just with Nishan, he played against Adelaide in Mildura. Achilles, is he going to be back soon?
He tweaked his hammy in Mildura against Adelaide, so he was out. He had surgery in the off-season and was out for up to 12 weeks. And on his first game back, he tweaked his hammy. So it's not a major tweak, but it's still something that's there and maybe a few weeks away.
And tonight, former Victory manager Ange Postecoglou, he's going to be coaching Nottingham. What have you made of his start to his tenure at Nottingham and perhaps the harsh treatment he's received at Nottingham?
Look, I don't look at that too much, to be honest with you, because I follow the English Premier League. I watch a lot of leagues. My focus is the A-League and Melbourne Victory. I wish Ange all the best and all the success in the world. I think it's a little bit difficult at the moment, the circumstance, but that's the nature of the beast in our industry. In the end, we're always all judged on results. So I'm sure he'll turn it around because he's a fantastic manager. I really hope he does. And yeah, in the end, I've got to worry about Melbourne Victory and not Nottingham Forest.